So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few ways that I have put together mine, and one way that I haven't actually. And the first way that I haven't is I have some of these. I think they were either from Tim Holtz, or there's another company that does something like this, very similar. I forget the name of the company though. I'm very sorry. I don't have the packaging anymore. But this particular one has the chain already attached. And what I want to do is I'm going to try to put this here between, down into this one, this bead, and I want to attach this heart down here at the bottom. But I need a bead up here and up here to keep this from kind of setting itself inside the hole and pushing and making the hole bigger or ruining the bead. So I'm going to look for a couple of beads that will fit through here, and I don't know if I'll be able to find something like that. I'll see. But I'll be right back after I find that. Okay, I found something that I want to use. It's a little flower looking bead. It has a big hole in the center. It's supposed to be used this way. There's a little tiny hole there and a little tiny hole on the other side. You're supposed to string your wire or whatever through there, but I'm going to use it this way. And it will not fit the way I want it to. So I'm going to have to remove this large ring temporarily. And I have to undo it anyway to attach the heart. So that's not a problem. So I'm going to find the opening and grasp one side. Then I'm going to take my other tool and I'm just going to bend toward me and away from me at the same time. You don't want to open them like that. You want to go like that or like that. Okay? I'm just going to remove it. And now I can slide this through here, and I'm hoping this works. This is a stopgap right here. It keeps it from falling off. And then I hope the chain's long enough because the bead is a little big. Put the bead through, the chain through the bead. That's not quite long enough. This takes up too much space. Let's see. Okay, I grabbed it at the bottom. It's barely long enough. So what I think I might do is I'm going to trim my bead up a little bit. Just a little bit, because I want it to fit through there. So I'm going to cut this end just a little bit. And this end. And let's see if it works. That's one good thing about not having a center that's too difficult to get through. Put the chain through. All right, now I can reach the chain easier. All right, I was going to try and put this on this end, but I don't think it'll work. So, you know what? I'm going to try and make it work. Wish me luck, right? Wish me luck. Okay, I'm going to pull a little bit harder. Okay, so then I'm going to put the other end of the chain through the flower bead like that. I'm going to try and grab it with my tool. There. Okay, I got it through. That's good. Now, if I can get this hooked on there, we're good to go. Okay. So that's through. Now I'm going to put my heart on. Okay. Don't drop it, because you'll really be sorry. And then I'm going to close the clasp back. By going the same direction that I opened it. So it connects. There. Wow, if this works, it's a miracle. make sure that it is closed really well because you don't want your heart coming off. There. Okay. Whew. All right. I accomplished my goal. Yay! Okay. The other ones I did were not this hard, honestly. But this is a little bit of a challenge because the chain wasn't quite long enough and I really wanted this to be this way. So I really like it. I'm glad that I stuck with it and tried to make it work. I hope it didn't look too difficult to you guys, but I really like it. So let's do another one. Let's make it easier this time, right? Okay. All right. Let me show you how I did the ones that have these little hooks on here. Let's see. Like this. Let me show you how I did that so you know how that works. And I'll put these over here. So I've got this out. It's not the same bottom. I don't have any more with the squared off bottom except this silver one, and I don't want to use the silver one. I want to use this color. And I'm going to decide which bead I want to put with it. And let's see. Let's do this one. Okay, and let's pick a color of cord. And I think I will stick with a, maybe we could do purple. There's another lighter purple. Let's go with this one. Of course, I want the one that's not opened yet. Okay, what I need to decide is how long do I want my bead charm. And I know I want some beads above it and below it. And so I'll need string long enough to accommodate that. So what I need to do is pick out my beads that I'm going to use here. And I think what I'll do is I'll pull out, let me find them real quick. I think I'll pull out some of these. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should use the silver. I'm going to change gears. I'm going to use the silver. Oh, I don't know. That looks kind of cool. Hang on a minute, let me figure this out, because I might not switch gears. See, that looks good, but I don't want it so similar. That looks good, but it's so much of that already. The one I really like, Phoebe doesn't want me to use. Let's say here and here, or maybe here, here. Okay, well, you get the gist of what I'm trying to do, so let me figure this out and then I'll come back and tell you what I decided because this is taking too long. Okay, I wanted to show you this real quick before I put it away. I found these that would work because you got to have a hole big enough for your cord to go through doubled. But when I replaced this, it just kind of toned it down and it was like, okay, that looks alright, but this just makes it pop. It's bringing out these colors so much more, so I'm going to stick with those. And when I get this cleaned up, I'll be back and show you what I do. Okay, so now, let's see, do I need to bring you a little bit closer? Just a tad, just a little bit. Alright, I'm going to change colors of cord now too, because I've picked out the actual beads I want to use. So, and I've been dying to use these. I've had these forever and they're just so chunky clunky. This is great. This is going to work great. So I either want to go with the green, which I don't think I want to do. I think I'm going to switch back over to natural, or maybe this color. Oh boy. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Let's go with the natural. Okay, what I need to do is pull out enough so that I can make my little loop up here where I need to make it and have some tail down here. There, goes like that. So I'm going to pretend that I'm starting my loop here. I'm just measuring out. Let's say it's this long, but you're going to wrap it, so I want to add a little bit. So let's start from the top of your piece here and go down as long as your bead goes, and it's loose, so it's still, you know, going to give you a little play, and then go another couple inches. So you really want quite a bit more than what your actual project is, and then double it, okay, because we need to go through twice. And then I cut a little extra. So, you know, that's just how I work, because I don't want to not have enough. And it's doubled, so make your ends even here. Okay, take your loop end, and you're going to put it through your hole here, like this, or whatever hole you have. And then I'm going to feed my tails into the hole, pull them through, and tighten. Okay, so it's looped on to my clasp. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this other end, and I'm going to start feeding my beads through. And this is the one that's going first. I think it was going first. I've kind of messed up. Yeah, that'll work. And even if it goes up like that, that's fine. It stops. And then I want this one. Didn't want to come through for some reason on that side. There must be something inside of it slowing it down. That's why your holes have to be pretty large to make sure that you can feed through both. There we go. Okay, got that one on. Then I'm going to put my bead on. Okay, then I want this bead. They've got a little frayed, so I'm going to trim them. And then this one. Okay, so I think that's good enough. But because this bead on the bottom is really large, the hole is really large, I have to tie a really big knot so this doesn't come over and slide off. Or I need to add something smaller down at the bottom to kind of hold it on. And I think I may look for something like that, so hold on. Okay, I went ahead and put this on off camera by accident, but I found a little flower, a little pinkish flower. It's kind of clear, and I put it on upside down, so the petals are facing down. So it kind of holds this on, and it's a smaller hole, so now all I have to do is make a knot close to the hole, and it doesn't have to be as big a knot. And I kind of just hold it upside down and work it till I get it close to that hole. And it doesn't have to be perfectly on it. And then pull it tight. And now your beads will stay on. Okay, now you could tie another knot, which I typically will do, just to make sure that I've got enough size there so the bead won't come off, but I think the first one was enough on this one. Okay. And then you decide if you want to leave this tail or if you want to cut it off. I think I'll have a little tail, but not that long, so we'll go that route. Or I could cut it all the way up here and it just be the beads. Okay, so that's how I attach to the little clasps. So now I'll show you how I do them without the clasp, and an example of that is these. And like this one. So I need to find the beads I want to use, and let's decide which one we're going to do. So I'm surprised Bailey's not nagging me for lunch. Wouldn't blame her, I'm kind of hungry myself. This one is really pretty, and I actually pulled out this dragonfly to put with it. I might work my way backwards on this one because I want the dragonfly at the bottom. I don't know. I'll save that in reserve. Let's work on... I'm not going to do every one. I'm just going to do 2 more. And I'll save these for other things. Let me work on this one. I really like the ones with the fibers a lot. Or this one. So let me get the beads together, and we're just going to work with the cord and beads. Okay, while I was looking for beads for this one, I found something for this one that I liked. Oop. And so we're going to do 3 more. So we'll do a total of 5 instead of the 6. And this one will just be a little lone bead that gets put away. All right, so I've got these beads laid out here. And I think I'll use my purple here. Which one do I like? Kind of like this one. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure a rough measurement, how long my string is. I'm going to double it because I need to go through twice, and then I need a knot at the top with a loop, so I'm just going to guess my knot being about that big, or my loop being about that big, and add that on, and then just cut a little extra. Better safe than sorry. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to make my loop up here. So I have my hanging area finished and ready, and it doesn't have to be very big, so like that. And I need to be able to put my beads on so that the knot doesn't go through the hole. So I may have to switch my beads around because these holes are really big. These holes are not as big, so I may have to put that first. Let's see if I like that better. I may go back and get more of the silver ones. See, I really want it separated like that. So let me get another one of these. I'll be right back. Here's what I think I'm going to do. Usually I like to have 2 of everything, so it kind of matchy-matchies. And I don't know why. I usually don't matchy-matchy stuff, but on these I've kind of done, you know, if I have one of these up top, I'll put one on the bottom. Except like when I put this flower on the bottom here, I didn't have 2 flowers, but it's kind of an ending piece, so it didn't bother me. On this one, I really wanted to use this word here. It says gentle on one side, I think friend on the other. And I thought I would put this up here. But then I thought I would need to put one down here, but I really don't want one down here. I've tried it. I want the butterfly. So I took it out and I put the friend back, the word back, and I think I'm just going to let it go like that. And this will be the last piece. I want the butterfly to be last for some reason. I don't know why. Unless I put it up top here. But I don't like that. I want it the way I had it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're not going to have two. But this is a good piece up here. It's not... It's a little bigger than I wanted. I wanted something flat, but I don't have a whole lot of flat stuff with big holes. I could put this up here. Maybe that's better. It's more of a, it's just a starter piece, just to give me something with a hole small enough to tie a knot and it won't come through. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Not something that's going to have to be replicated down below. So that might work. Alright, well, Bailey's starting to nag me for lunch, and she's within her right because it is time now. So, I really wanted to get this put together. That one or that one? I just don't like the long one. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, I like the long one, I just don't want it on this. Let's try to get this put together real quick so I can go feed Bailey. And I've got my knot up here, and this should be enough to keep this from going through, but I'm going to tie one more just to be safe. Almost done, babe. We'll do this one, then we'll go have lunch, and then I'll finish, okay? Good girl. She sighed, but she's in her bed. She's like, all right. Okay, now I've got a knot big enough. Now I take my other end and slide this through, which is working good. And then this one. And then this one. I have a bunch of beads with small holes. I need beads with larger holes. Make sure my sometimes if I can't get the two to cooperate together because they're loose, I'll fold it. They're still two, but they're rounded. It may make it easier. I don't know if it will in this case or not, but we'll try. I have to pull it through with a needle. Nope, it's working. Okay, that's pulled through. Then the next one. And the reason I want certain ones by the bead is so they don't go up in the hole. And that's why if you put a straw or a piece of paper or something inside your bead before you wrap your fabric, you know, wrap that and then wrap your fabric around that, it'll make it more secure inside and things won't go through. But why bother? I just don't do that. And that one. Then we'll put the word. And then the butterfly. Doesn't want to go through on this one. It went through on the other one just fine. Probably need a needle to push them through. There. Okay. So now we have that. Are you too close now? You might be too close. Nope, I always go the wrong way. Okay, then I want to tie my knot up underneath the butterfly so that it doesn't fall off. Okay. And I only tied one knot. You can tie two, but I think one is fine. I barely could get these through there. So there's our next one. So we have 3 now. Okay. And your word is a little wonky because the holes are, it's meant to be a necklace, and I just stuck it on here, so it's going to be a little off center, but that's okay. I love these. I love them. This one's my favorite so far. Well, I don't know. This one kind of, I like them all. Okay, we got 2 more to do. I got to go feed Bailey and grab something for myself, and I will be back to do this one next, and we're going to do it the same way. But this is the one that's the vintage feed sack. And as I was looking through, I thought these had a vintage color to them. And then these made it even more vintagey for me because those are the colors in the fabric, even though you can barely see it. So I thought I would make one using those. And then we're going to work on this one and figure out a way to make the dragonfly at the bottom. Okay, so I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back from lunch. All I had was a banana with peanut butter, and now I'm having some green tea. Peach green tea, actually. And Bailey's all taken care of, so everybody's happy. So, this one I'm going to work on. I showed you the beads already. I decided to make it a keychain. And I've got these other silver looking beads that I'm going to use as top and bottom, and they're just in a pack of those silver beads you can get like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I don't even know what they're called. I can't tell you because I don't have the packaging, but just go look in your bead aisle and you'll see packages of silver beads and stuff. And so I need to get some more of those because they have bigger holes. Anyway, I'm going to use the hemp again, hemp cord, and this is the green one. Sorry, baby. And I'm going to guesstimate my length again, starting at the top of my piece here, and then doubling it, and then adding a little extra for the turning of my loop up here to tie it off, and just a tiny bit extra. So that ought to be enough. So on this one, same thing as we did on the other one where we looped our threads around each other. Going to double it, put your looped end through the hole here, through the ring, and then bring your tails through this loop. And then tie it like that. Okay, so, and then the same thing, thread your beads through all your, thread your cord through all your beads. This one might be a little hard because it's a little smaller hole, but it should work. I can just get it started. These holes are not big enough, so I've got to find something different. I really wanted those other beads to work because I liked them, but they're not going to work. So this cord might be a little thicker. I don't know. Anyway, I got these out. Hopefully they'll work. I also picked up these black beads. They will work because I've used them, and it's nice to have a little pop of black in your work, but I don't really want that on there. I want the silver because I want that to go with this. And, you know, I want what I want, so that's all she wrote about that. So, since I want what I want, I'm going to try to make it work. Okay, that'll work. And then we'll put the rest of the beads on. Okay, this bead I made on a small dowel, on this small one here. So the hole is smaller, so I don't want to try to force these through. So what I did was take an upholstery needle, it's got a big eye, and I just threaded the thread through the end. And I'm just going to run the needle through the bead and pull the thread through that way. And that way it won't ruin, you know, the bead trying to push through. That's why I like beads with a little bigger holes. fraying at the ends. It's making it harder for me, so I'm twisting it to try to make it work. Seemed like when I did these off camera, they went so much easier. It's like when the camera's on, anything that can happen will. All right, there we go. And I'm going to leave a little looseness on these because I want this to be able to loosen up. I want this knot here to be able to loosen up just a little bit. It won't come apart or anything, but I want it to loosen so it'll slide on this ring. Okay, so when I tie my knot, I'm not going to tie it up as close to the hole because I want it to slide down just a little bit. I want the beads to slide down a little bit, I should say. I know you don't know what it is unless I tell you. So you can see the knot is tied lower than the bead itself. Normally I'd tie it like this up close, but I left some space. So that way my beads can fall down a little bit and then my rope can loosen up here so I can turn my little key ring thing. Okay? And I think I will go ahead and tie one more knot, although I don't think I need it. Okay, and I might leave these tails. I kind of like the tails on this one. I don't know why. I may cut them later, a little shorter, but I kind of like them long right now. So that's the key ring. Okay, so now the last one is this bead here, which I love, and the dragonfly, which I really want to incorporate in this because I think they just go so well together. And I don't know what beads to use, so I'm going to have to go find them and then I'll come back. Well, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get the dragonfly attached at the bottom because the way I finish off my bottoms would make it kind of awkward. And if I start at the bottom the way I like to start at the top with these, then the top is going to look awkward. But I could hide it if I put a ribbon up here, a bow. Maybe I'll do that. I was going to do it down here, but I think it'd be better up here. Let's try it. You never know what's going to happen. And for this one, I think I'll use this color here. It's like a taupe, well, darker taupe color, but there's a knot here, so it's not going to be enough. I'm going to cut it at the knot and hope we don't run into another knot. Not that it matters. It does matter. I just had to say not again. Okay, so let's get an idea of how long we need our cord. So as long as our piece, and then double that. And then I want my little loopy part, and then that's where I'll cut a little bit extra there. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. So, just like I did on the other ones, I'm going to double it, grab my loop end, but I'm starting from the bottom this time. We're going to try it and see if it works. It may not. And I think that's going to be fine. Okay. So then I bring my two ends together and start threading my beads on. This took a lot longer to do than I thought it was going to take. I think because I did more than I planned, and I really didn't plan to make as many things. I just was going to show you how I made my beads. That was my main goal. But I thought you might like to see how I made the other little charms. And in other videos, I'll show you how I use my beads other ways. Because I've got one project I'm working on that is actually using some of them. And I have another one in mind that I will be doing that will show you a couple other ways that I'm using my beads. Okay. Oop, there's my hole. There's my hole. All right. So there we go. Now going to tie it off at the top here, and then I'm going to put a ribbon so that it hides the knot. Let's see if it works. It may not. I don't know. And I'll leave a little play. Okay, I think I want to pull it up a little bit more. I don't want that much room at the bottom. I want my bow to tie cover most of it. There, that's better. Okay, I gotta tie it again. You just have to work with it till you get it the way you want it. Pull it down just a little bit. There, tighten it up. Okay. Now, I wonder if I could just tie a bow with this and be done with it instead of adding ribbon. Let's see. A bow tying ceremony. Nah, I think we need ribbon. But I will tie a knot just so that it kind of secures itself there. So I'm just going to tie a knot now, separating the two pieces and making a knot, and I'll make another one going the other way. Okay, now let's cut off. I'm going to leave a little string there just to see if I like it. Kind of gives it a little grungy look, which I kind of like. And let's see if we can tie a bow. All right, I'm just going to take ribbon. Let's say I'm just going to pretend I'm going to need that much. Probably don't need that much, but. And I'm going to take my knot that I've got here, and I'm just going to tie the bow and the ribbon right around on top of the knot here and hope that it looks fine. If not, we'll take it off. I thought the black would be pretty with the black beads and make the colors pop a little bit. Okay, let's get it right there on top of the knot. I really want it to make sure it got on top. There. Okay. Is that where I want it? I'm going to tie a bow first and see if that's where I want it before I tie another knot. I think it'll be okay there. So let's tie another knot just to give it a little security. I don't think we need the knot, but why not when you can tie a knot and be sure that the knot won't unknot. Knot. Oh, I think I'm getting slap happy. Okay, now the bow tying ceremony. Let's all bow our heads. I can't bow my head. I have to tie. I'll pull this back, make the bow smaller, then tie again and pull. Have a little dance with the bow, back and forth. Okay, it needs to be a little bigger. And this is just going to hang in my art room, so it's not going to be used, so you don't have to worry about anything funky happening to your bow or anything. And once I get it hung like this, the bow will just stay in place. And I like that. Okay. Let's cut there, and let's cut there. All right. Do I like it? Do I need to cut it some more? Let me hold it up here and Let's pretend I'm hanging it. Maybe a little shorter. Just, I don't know why. Something says just go shorter. Okay, there we go. Can you see it okay? I like it. I like it a lot. I think this is my favorite one. I hope you can see it really well, considering how the lighting is today. Okay, let me clean this up and I'll get my mat cleaned up and I'll show you all of them together that we've done today, okay? Did you think I really was finished? I can't finish anything. When I say I'm done, you can count on I'm probably not done for another 2 times. But I was putting the beads away, or putting things away, and I was going to put this little lone bead that we didn't finish. This is the only bead we didn't do today in the little container that I've got. And I thought let's just go ahead and finish this last bead. Let's just do all 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, all 6. So if you remember, I showed you this earlier. And it has pins in it. And a long time ago, let me show you real quick, I made some pins. Here's a few of them. And you just use these long hat pins and you put your beads on, or whatever you're going to put on, and then you use, usually I used a Glossy Accents glue, a really strong glue to hold the bottom bead on. But I don't have any of that handy. I do, but I don't really, well, I'll see if it works. But anyway, so I thought I would use one of those and use our last bead, our fabric bead, okay? So let me put this back and put this away and see if my Glossy Accents will come out of the hole, and we'll do one more bead. Okay, I found my Glossy Accents. I do not like how Glossy Accents has their top. I've never liked it. I've always struggled with it. Once you use it and it gets dry, I used to keep a pin in the top. That didn't even work. The pin rusted in there and just, it looks awful. So here's a whole bottle I can hardly use. And so if you've got any ideas of what to do, I know I could probably cut the top off and pour it into a fine liner, but I think it would just clog up the fine liner needle too. I don't know. Or maybe there's another glue that you can use that's better than Glossy Accents, or does as well as Glossy Accents, but has a better top system. This is a really great glue. I love using it on top of my dominoes when I made my domino necklace. But, and where's that? Since I mentioned it, I'll show you that if I can find it. Here it is. This is showing you how I used it. This is tied up short so I can hang it on my dress form. But there's my domino necklace. And what I did was I took some of my art. This is back when I first started. Poor girl. And I sized it to the size of a domino. And then I Mod Podged it on. And then I took Glossy Accents and put it on top. Anyway, so it's great for that, but I try to avoid doing things with Glossy Accents because I don't like using the way they've designed their top. You can't take it off or anything. So what I think I'm going to do is, because I can't use this anymore, I mean, I've ruined this trying to poke it and get it loose and run water on it. I've done everything I can think of. So if you got any brilliant ideas, let me know. But I think I'm going to cut this top off right here. And if I have to, I'll cut all the way down here. I mean, that's what we'll do. But I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm just going to try to put some on my mat and take a brush I don't really care about, and we'll use the brush to put the glue on where I need it and hope that works. So, and if not, we'll just use another glue. But really, this is the better glue for what I want to do. So there you go. That's done. Let's see if any will come out. Yep, I can get some out now. Okay, until next time. So I've got a little bit on my mat, and what I did was I took one of these pens. Now, one thing you can do with these pens is these tops here, if you don't want to leave the color the way it is, if you have an alcohol-based marker like Copics, which I don't use a lot of, I only have a few. I don't care for that kind of thing, but they will cover this and you can change the color of the top. And that's what I did on my pens. I just showed you the tops were all painted a different color with the Copic markers. Okay, so what I want to do in this one, I'll leave the top the same way, And I pulled out some beads here. They're little flower beads like I used a minute ago on one of the other charms I made. Here's my fabric bead. And then I have this little owl that I pulled out. So I'm going to take my flower bead and I'm going to put it on upside down first. And I'll probably put a little bit of glue at the top here to hold this flower on. Right there. And then I'm going to put my owl. Then my flower again, but this time I'm going to use it the right way. The flower petals going up. And then I think I'm going to put my, actually, I think I'll put some Glossy Accents on the bottom of the owl just to hold the flower on. And then I will put my bead on, but I'm going to put some more Glossy Accents on the bottom of the flower to help hold the bead. And on my needle, on my pen. Okay, so then it needs to dry. And I'm going to put a little bit at the bottom to help hold at the bottom. It needs to dry. I'll put this in water and see if I can salvage the brush. Not that I care. It's a cheapy brush. So let me show you what I've gotten here that I use. This is foam that some brads came on, and I just took the brads out and used them, and I kept it so I can stick my pen through here and push this together so it stays flush. Okay, so while it's drying, there's no separation. Okay, and if the beads aren't straight, fix them now, which, you know, I think it's going to be just fine the way it is. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, Bailey's snoring. And then I just set it on top of a jar or something where this is the pokey part of the pen is not going to get on anything. And I'm going to let that dry for a minute while I clean up, and then when it's dry I'll come back and I'll show you the finished pen. Okay, so I don't know if this one that I just did is through drying or not, so I'm going to show that one to you first so that I can put it back in its little holder and let it keep drying. Let me straighten this little thing out. But there's your pen. And the way to use these pens, anything you want to do, someone's going to ask, I know, so I'll try to tell you now. I have a little pin cushion over there that I stick them in just for show, not for show for people, but for me to look at because I just think they're pretty. I've also used them on ATCs where I've created an ATC and then attached the pen on front. I've also made a little dress form that I made on like a coaster or something, and I used a pen and tucked it in there. You can tuck them in your journals and places, just as long as you hide this so that it's not going to poke someone and hurt someone. You can use them for anything. You know, put them in your hat, you know, if you have a hat that you hang in your room for decor that you don't wear all the time or anything, that you don't wear at all, really. You wouldn't want to wear this out, but you can stick it in that. Anything you want to do, really. You know, I could make a tag using one of these packaging tags that I'm making for junk your stuff, which we'll be doing that in another few videos. I'll go back to some more tags. But I could create a tag with this, put all my stuff on there, and then put my pen either on top like this or like this, sticking off, and just for an added element of prettiness or dimension, whatever you want to do. It's just for fun. You know, there's no real reason for them other than just for fun. So let me put this back in here to be drying some more. Squish it together so it doesn't come apart. And I'll show you the others close up. Oh, did I show you close up? I think I did. This cute little owl. Okay. And then the first one we did was the one we struggled with to get the chain all the way through, and it worked. I just trimmed my bead a little bit. And not having something in the center of my bead to secure it or to make it more stable helped me because I could just squeeze it and trim it. But if you want the inside of your bead not to be flexible, like this is flexible, you want to use a straw or some cardstock or something to start around your dowel, glue it, and then put your fabric on top of that. But I don't do that. So here's the first one we made, and I just can clip it on something. There's a little clip up here. And then this one, it's another little clip. And this one is without the clip. It's just something you can hang. You can hang it on a nail or a dress form if it's got a little hook on it, or whatever you have that you can put things on. Y'all know how to hang stuff, right? I love this one too. And then this one, it's kind of a more vintagey appeal. Could be a key ring. I'll probably just hang it in here. And this one with our dragonfly. I love this bead. So those are some things you can do with your beads. There are more. I have, like I said, a project I'm working on that I'm using my beads on. And here's the previous ones that I did that I shared with you at the beginning of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will make some and that you see that it's really easy. Although a couple times I did struggle a little bit with the cording and everything. The process is really easy. It's just sometimes your supply may give you a little bit of a hard time. You just have to work with it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And if you've been with me a while, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all your kind comments. They are what keep me going, to be honest with you. And I will see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of whatever it is. Bye-bye.